For the first time in history, the U.S. Navy strikes a vessel suspected of carrying narcotics. Every boat sunk means tens of thousands of lives saved, a warning to those who spread the White Death. This fight is not only against crime. It is about safeguarding the soul of America. At 4:25 a.m., the calm waters south of Corpus Christi shudder as three unknown returns appear on radar. No lights, no identity, only speed, and a deadly silence. Aboard USS Tripoli, every gaze tightens as the darkness begins to betray the plot hidden behind the waves. Infrared scanners lay bare the truth. Canisters of toxic chemicals and heavy machine guns concealed under tarps. These are no longer mere smugglers. They are disguised combat units, carrying weapons capable of crippling 1/5 of America's energy supply. The warning is relayed at once to U.S. Southern Command. A terse order crackles over encrypted comms. Target confirmed hostile. For years these waters sheltered cartel flotillas. But never before have they pushed so deep or so brazenly. Analysis shows the flotilla carries enough precursors to produce 6.5 tons of fentanyl, enough to poison over 200 million people. No one on deck still sees this as a Coast Guard mission. This is the opening of a war at America's doorstep. And the order is issued in silence. Iron Wave. Open fire. From an MH-60R Seahawk, the first laser-guided missile leaves its rail, knifes through the night, and hits midships. A towering column of flame erupts, vaporized chemicals bloom into a dense white cloud. The sea turns bright as day, marking the moment war officially begins. When Marines board the drifting hull, they uncover, beneath the tarps, encrypted satellite comms gear, maps of U.S. oil and gas lines, and strategic schematics linking Texas, Louisiana, and Alabama. All doubt evaporates. This is not smuggling. This is a plot aimed at the heart of America's energy system. By poisoning the U.S. with synthetic drugs and sabotaging oil infrastructure, the cartels seek economic and political chaos. But behind them lies a foreign hand supplying positioning tech, encryption systems, and military hardware. A shadow network is steering this war. At 5:02 a.m., the president signs an emergency directive from the Situation Room. From that moment, every cartel vessel is deemed a hostile force. A line never crossed is erased. A new era in the drug war begins. And America declares it will strike before it is struck. 2 boats are destroyed, 1 remains adrift. Inside are Chinese-made navigation chips and maps of U.S. oil routes. If you think foreign powers are probing America's defenses, brace yourself. What comes after sunrise will be a counterstrike without precedent. At 7:05 a.m., coastal radar along Texas lights up in unison. 6 high-speed aerial objects, launched from Cuban airspace, skim just over 60 meters above the sea. Tight formation, heat-shedding metal skins, unmanned. A technology far beyond any cartel's capacity. Inside USS Tripoli's Combat Information Center, officers track the returns second by second. 3 minutes until coastal entry. The order lands, cold and clear. Launch F-35 seconds. Destroy immediately. 2 Lightning is punched through the fog. Their missiles scythe out like lightning, shredding the first target mid-air. The CIWS mounts traverse and spit streams that rip the second object into molten shrapnel. But 4 keep coming, weaving in zigzags that make radar lock difficult. At 7:13, 1 breaks formation, knifing toward the Galveston Bay refinery, the fuel heart of Texas. A white flash blossoms over the water. The blast yields the force of 2.3 kilotons. Shock waves roll for dozens of miles, shattering windows more than 20 miles away. Giant oil tanks burn for 6 straight hours. And in that instant, Americans understand war has reached home. Urgent bulletins flood the networks. Markets reel. Senators call it a second Pearl Harbor. The opposition accuses the government of stoking regional conflict. The nation sinks into fear and fury. If a cartel can hit Texas, which city is next? The answer waits in the dark. Amid scrambled signals, a cryptic line cuts through an intercepted channel. Phase 2 begins at sunrise. The fight is no longer offshore. It has entered U.S. territory, and as the clock strikes 8, a counterstrike order goes out from Miami. The hunters are now the hunted. Task Force Horizon forms 312 Marines, DEA agents, and Coast Guard teams. Under cover of darkness, they drive straight for Mexico's coast in absolute silence. Overhead, an RQ-180 recon aircraft spots a massive heat source beneath the dunes of Veracruz, a network of buried steel warehouses. Satellite analysis confirms the control hub for the drones that hit Texas. As Task Force Horizon closes in, diplomatic surf surges between Washington and Mexico City. Mexico's president warns of a sovereignty breach. The Pentagon replies coolly, "If you can't control your territory, we will control it for you." In Europe, NATO quietly backs the US, while Beijing and Caracas denounce the operation as hegemonic. Tensions crest, and at 10:42 the assault begins. Two EA-18G Growlers blanket every signal within 60 kilometers, severing the enemy's communications. MH-60R Seahawks insert Marines on the beach, the air heavy with fuel and salt. Beneath the sand lies an underground plant of concrete walls. Inside, dozens of missile tubes stamped CJNG, etched with a single English word: revenge. Nearby are drone components labeled with Russian markings. As commandos breach the main tunnel, motion sensors trigger cascades of C4. A red countdown blinks 38 seconds. Navy EOD sprints in to cut the lines. One last second drains in absolute silence before the green light snaps on. The area escapes catastrophe by a hair's breadth. In the wreckage, they discover a command center capable of launching 120 drones per hour. Disguised as a fishing station, a computer is still transmitting. Its screen loops a single phrase: Phase 2 confirmed. Prepare counterattack. This war has only just begun. The soldiers don't need the code translated. They know the hunt has only started. If this sends a chill down your spine, share it. Let the world see the truth unfolding underground. And what follows is no longer an arrest. It is an airstrike named retaliation. At 14:45, two B-2 Spirits slip from Whiteman, gliding through the stratosphere like ghosts. In their bays, 12 30,000-pound bunker busters enough to crush a mountain. Targets: 3 command complexes buried in the Sierra Madre, where foreign engineers and cartels co-produce drones. At the same time, destroyers USS Lassen and USS Hopper loose 22 Tomahawk Block V missiles toward the Veracruz and Tamaulipas coasts. Each carries a 1,000-pound warhead and an EMP package to wipe communications within 60 miles. On satellite screens, flaming arcs trace the sky before plunging into jungle. Seconds later, the mountains blaze like noon. A chain of detonations hits so hard that seismographs register magnitude 3.4. Inside shattered bunkers, military contractors and cartel engineers vanish into fire. All data, antennas, and drone assembly lines are erased. At 15:07, every signal from the 3 sites goes dark. No comms, no life. As smoke crawls over the ridgelines, Growlers sweep the skies, jamming every frequency south of the Rio Grande. At sea, Super Hornets hunt the surviving vessels trying to flee. Boat disguised as a fishing craft takes a 2,000-pound JDAM and erupts into a fireball visible from 40 miles. Minutes later, a second ship hauling nitrate fuel explodes, the water roiling into an inferno. The president issues one order: absolute darkness. No warnings. No quarter. At 15:30, Southern Command's Cyber Operations Unit punches through the enemy's systems. Drone control links are severed. Feeds from Cartel Command freeze, then plunge into the sea like burning meteors. In 15 minutes, 73 aerial threats are wiped out. Do you believe America should strike before being struck? Because the next phase of this war won't start with a missile, it will start with a signal. As dusk settles, the horizon glows like hot steel. The sea is quiet, but smoke rises still. A reminder that victory is bought with blood and will. Operation Iron Wave ends, but its echo has only begun. From above, the Gulf of Mexico burns with firelight and oil sheens stretching more than 40 nautical miles. Every base, every ship, every cartel control center within range has been erased. An urgent report hits the Pentagon at 8:10 p.m. 29 targets destroyed, 73 drones downed, 0 civilian casualties. Cartel losses are pegged above $2.8 billion, including 3 refineries, 2 data relay stations, and over 18,000 pounds of precursor chemicals. But beneath the ash, network data reveals something darker. A massive crypto stream courses through Caracas, Managua, and Bogota, proof the enemy isn't dead, only shapeshifting. On USS Tripoli's deck, exhausted troops stare at a horizon still on fire. In the red wash of sunset, victory mingles with a nameless unease. The smell of oil and salt mixes with gun smoke. Intelligence picks up signals from the Yucatan Peninsula, where CJNG remnants are regrouping with Venezuelan mercenaries and Eastern European engineers. The war on cartels has mutated into hybrid conflict, where gunfire and malware detonate in the same beat. At 2040, the Pentagon's final message sounds: Iron Wave complete. Maintain readiness. Strategists call it the most successful naval operation since Panama, but they know the border no longer lies along the sand, it spans every digital space. America must now defend not only territory, but also the arteries of its economy, its data, and supply chains stretching across the Western Hemisphere. The sea grows quiet again, but beneath the surface lies a new reality. The next battle won't start with smoke and flame. It will begin with a secret signal from where no one expects. As dawn washes the Pacific, the world reels from Iron Wave's aftershocks. Oil prices spike, markets in Caracas and Beijing plunge. Satellite imagery shows Veracruz reduced to a giant crater. An anti-narcotics operation has become a geopolitical earthquake reverberating across the globe. In diplomatic rooms, allies call it a historic turning point. NATO hails the first hybrid victory of the 21st century, where precision bombs, cyber strikes, and intelligence fuse into a single weapon. The message is clear. America doesn't negotiate with chaos, America erases it. Behind closed doors, defense intelligence confirms multiple cartel factions, backed by hostile states, are trying to fracture U.S. influence in Latin America. But the scheme backfired. The seamless coordination of Navy, Marines, DEA, and Cyber Command proved absolute deterrent power. From Veracruz's ashes, a new understanding takes shape. The front line now runs through fiber optics, satellites, and global trade lanes. Every convoy, every data stream, every drone signal is part of a silent war shaping the century. In that world, those who control information control peace. Yet amid the chaos, one truth endures. When America is threatened, it unites. From the steel deck of USS Tripoli to the command centers in Miami and Washington, every soldier, sailor, and agent stands in one rank, sworn that freedom will never bow to fear. The camera sweeps across the night sea, the narrator's voice dropping. The border never moved, only the battlefield did. And wherever that battlefield lies, the Marines will be the first to set foot. If you believe in the strength of the Guardians in the dark, share this so the world knows they stand watch. One last question echoes. Do the enemies truly grasp what happens when they cross the line? Because, as history shows, some battles are written not in words but in deeds. And Operation Iron Wave will be remembered as proof of the power of a nation that never backs down.